President Obama. A quick trip down to Mexico yesterday. He spent 8 hours in Mexico. The flight down and back was 9 hours long. And he was down there talking trade. Good news for the United States? Maybe not. Lori Wallach is the Global Trade Watch Director for Public Citizen, in studio with us again this morning. Lori, welcome back.
Good morning.
So what's the president up to down there? What's he trying to sell with the president of Mexico and Prime Minister Harper?
Well, they were trying to do two things. They were trying to talk about how great our current trade system is, at the same time that they were also talking about the need to update it. And what they were trying to cook up while sort of saying opposite things simultaneously was a thing called the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
The TPP.
The TPP.
Right.
It's a 12-country pact. It's literally NAFTA on steroids because it's the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. But then add a NAFTA-style deal, but with Vietnam, 28 cents an hour wages, Malaysia, Brunei, other countries in Latin America and in Asia. And the agreement
Vietnam,
literally
28 cents
an hour. This makes Mexico's $6, $10, $14 a day wages look rich. So that agreement, TPP, literally has everything NAFTA had, so the investment rules that literally incentivize job offshoring by getting rid of most of the risks that would normally make a company think twice before leaving. You know, the thing that got us 1 million net jobs lost from NAFTA. So in TPP, but NAFTA with Vietnam, plus all kinds of other outrageous stuff that has nothing to do with trade. Sort of like the Trojan horse delivery mechanism.
Yeah, right.
For stuff that would never make it in the sunshine of Congress. So, extensions for medicine patents for Big Pharma to jack up our medicine prices, or limits on internet freedom, or these corporate tribunals where decisions on the environment or health can be challenged by foreign corporations outside of our courts, with the foreign tribunals able to make us pay taxpayer dollars to them for having to follow our laws. I'm not making this stuff up.
This is all in the proposed TPP. And the president, just to final point on that, is he not only wants this deal, but he wants Congress to give him fast track authority, it's called, right? So that he can make the deal on his own without having to first subject it to Congress, correct?
Correct. So first of all, on TPP, because the things I've been saying...
Blank check, right?
The things I've been saying about...
Why give any president a blank check?
The things I've been saying about TPP probably sound so scary. People have now spilled their coffee, and they probably wonder if I haven't had mine yet, and that's the issue. So if you really want to see some of the text, because it's all been negotiated secretly, but it's leaked, go to our website, tradewatch.org, and we actually have sort of guided tours through the leaked text. So you can, as a civilian, basically make it clear, I'm not making this stuff up. We actually would, for instance, have to import food that doesn't meet our standards. There'd be a damn ban on Buy American and Buy Local procurement.
A ban on buy?
Yes, sir. So this stuff, this is the stuff we know. And it's so secret, we don't know the half of it, because there are 29 chapters. 5 of them have to do with trade. The rest, all the sneaky backdoor imposition of corporate agenda. So fast track. Because, you know, this isn't just like, the TPP is not just sort of like a skunk at the picnic. It's a picnic of skunks. So with all of these issues, enough for everyone to hate something, Democrats and Republicans alike.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of Republicans who have their hair on fire about this. How the hell did you get that through Congress? Fast track.
Fast track.
So
right.
fast track is a procedure Richard Nixon originally cooked up. You can think about
already
it.
Against it.
Well, the blank check is a good analogy. I myself, given its Olympics, sort of think of it as a legislative luge run. The way that it works is the Constitution, coming out of the Boston Tea Party, the founders gave Congress exclusive authority over trade. They did not want one executive just grabbing it and going off blank check and doing whatever. So historically, the Congress and the executive branch have had to coordinate. Typically, Congress called the shots. It's their authority. Shocking thing, you know, Nixon tried to grab that authority.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And fast track was one of his ultimate wins in that sense, because it lets a president pick the countries we'll negotiate with by himself. So Vietnam, why are we having a trade agreement with Vietnam? The people there are too poor to buy our stuff. It's for offshoring. It lets the president negotiate the agreement and sign it before Congress votes with a guarantee. The president can write legislation to change any U.S. law they think appropriate to implement the agreement. It doesn't go to congressional committees, and then it gets a yes or no guaranteed vote. House and Senate, 90 days, no amendments,
Right.
20 hours of debate.
So up or down, right?
Right through the Congress.
Right.
So
But
the only
isn't that a gross violation of the Constitution?
well,
I mean, that's why we have the separation of powers in the wisdom of our founding fathers.
as a recovering attorney, I have learned
Yeah.
that the problem is Congress is able to delegate its authority basically as long as it reserves the right to take it back officially. So the default of a trade agreement that's signed under that mechanism is it zooms through.
Yeah.
Congress has, if you have a majority to stop the agreement, you have a majority to take it off of that lunatic rule, and that makes it constitutional.
Well, just like they have delegated their war making authority, if you will, their declaration of war authority to the president. They
Exactly.
could take it back, but they choose not to because they'd rather have the president get blamed for the war than Congress. But in this case, you would think that, Congress would not want to cede its authority over a trade deal. Are they likely to give Obama this power?
Well, here's the really good news.
Harry Reid has said no, right?
The really good news is at this point, there are a bunch of Republicans who either are strict constitutionalists, they're free traders, but they can't bear this.
Uh-huh.
They're the ones who can't bear Obama, so the thought of giving him more power, they can't bear that. And then you got the Democrats who don't like the trade policy. So between the Democrats who are not keen on NAFTA on steroids with Vietnam,
Right.
and the Republicans who are not keen on Obama, at the moment, because this is a fight in the House, there is a majority that is not going to push forward this fast track. But this kind of agreement and fast track brings together the entire corporate lobby. Big Pharma gets medicine patents to jack up prices. Big Oil gets new guaranteed rights to natural resources. Big Tobacco, the manufacturing offshores, the agribusiness monopolists. It's like the Christmas tree fantasy joy package for every company. So they're up there in legions trying to get the votes.
Right. For the trade deal, but first
Fast track.
for
Because they
fast
see
track.
it as the only way they're getting it. When you've got an agreement that is that butt ugly, it is not getting through Congress, but for putting Congress in handcuffs, in a blindfold, and in the legislative
How
newsroom.
long have we had NAFTA now?
20 years.
20 years. Haven't we learned some lessons from NAFTA?
This, to me, is the thing that is crazy making.
I remember when they were selling NAFTA. This was, everybody's dream because we're going to millions of new jobs here. It's going to lift the Mexican economy, and there's going to be, life. We're all going to live happily ever after, right? Hasn't really worked out that way, has it?
That's
NAFTA.
an understatement.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say something impolite, but that would cause a probably FCC violation. So
Please don't. We have a dump button. We don't like to use it.
yes. So the here's the deal. 20 years of NAFTA empirically proves that the model of NAFTA, which is the principle for TPP but expanded out, has failed. And we actually did a study, NAFTA's legacy on the TPP, 500 footnotes taking you back to the original government data. At tradewatch.org, you can see what the data says has happened. But the sum of it is, not only did those great promises of gains for us happen, but almost the opposite happened. So, for instance, net loss of 1 million U.S. jobs. Or you can go to a database we've gotten through the Freedom of Information Act of all the official government certified NAFTA casualties. 845,000 specific jobs qualified for one narrow program for retraining. Or we even have a trade deficit now, because we used to have a slight balance. Trade deficit huge, $178 billion, a growth of over 500% since NAFTA. And it's even in things like agriculture, where theoretically we were supposed to benefit. Meanwhile, we did dump a lot of corn on Mexico. So the data in this report show that actually poverty in Mexico has stayed the same level, but we've displaced almost 4 million campesinos with our corn dumping, which, for instance, doubled desperate migration.
So
here.
NAFTA was such a huge success, we are gearing up to do it all over again with the TPP.